You know, not everything is meant to be doom and gloom. As a matter of fact, you should always look on the positive side. And a huge positive trend that I've been seeing, and that a lot of other men have probably been seeing, is that a large amount of men are starting to see their value. For too long, men have been told, you're kind of the guy who goes to work, comes home, and pays all the bills. Or as a man, you're meant to take a back seat and you have no value, right? What are some of the things that we hear? What are some of the things that men hear all the time? Toxic masculinity, insecure, uh, toxic. That's probably one of the main ones. Patriarchy, things of that nature. And these type of things are meant to discourage men. They're meant to make men be ashamed. But there is a growing amount of men out there that are saying, you know what, forget that. They're getting tired. They're getting tired of being kicked around, abused. They'll kick you and they'll tell you it's fair. Shout out Michael Jackson. Rest in peace, Mike. They'll kick you and they'll hit you and they'll beat you and they'll tell you it's fair. And a lot of men, right? Sorry about the singing, by the way. But a lot of men are starting to be like, you know what? Forget this mess because I have value as a man. I'm tired of this getting told that you should just accept everything for the way it is. I'm tired of this whole getting told that I'm insecure when I try to put down boundaries. And, they're running with it, and it's a great thing. So with that being said, this is Tarek Talks, and I'm going to talk about this great thing that is part of this awakening of men just finding out that they themselves have value as well, which is a great thing because, ladies and gentlemen, masculinity is a great thing. It is a beautiful thing that is needed. Masculinity is associated with protecting. It's associated with strength, right? And when people say toxic, that's not part of masculinity. Being toxic is not part of masculinity. That's just being toxic. That's just being not a very good human being. Because a lot of guys can say the same thing about how some young ladies act. That's not part of femininity, though. See, by you saying toxic femininity, that's not part of femininity. Femininity is, and that was a tongue twister saying that shit like 4 times in a row. But femininity is what? Nurturing, caring, softness, that nurturing side. And that's also a protective side when it comes to women too. Because, let me just say this real quick. The feminine energy is a beautiful energy. It's the energy that looks after the children. That's really a lot of what it has to do. It's the part of a woman that is the mother side, Mother Nature. Mother Nature put that energy in women for the most part, that nurturing side. And it's a beautiful thing. So to say it's toxic, that's not part of the characteristic. Okay? That's just a toxic female. If a female is being manipulative and disrespectful and all that, that's just her being like that. Same thing with masculinity. If a guy is, and yes, fellas, a man can be this too. I'm tired of, let me say this real quick. I'm tired of this one-sidedness, especially on the manosphere, that, men can do whatever they want. Nah, man, because you know what? You can think that, but when all of your relationships fail, and this includes relationships with people as well, not only women, when all of those relationships fail, you're going to be like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have been a raging a-hole, okay? But masculinity, that's something that is needed. And a lot of men are waking up. They're like, yeah, I'm needed just as much. I'm needed just as much as anybody else, and I have value because the way that men have been treated is like this. I always have used this analogy. It's like a gorilla caged. It's like a gorilla caged, or a gorilla, better yet, put it like this. It is like a gorilla that is behind a door, a regular wooden door. Okay? Even a human can break this door, right? But it's behind a door, and you got society, let's put it this way, you got society throwing rocks at it, throwing bananas, throwing all of this, and the gorilla is not doing anything because mentally it feels like it's worthless. But in all reality, if this gorilla wanted to, it could take this door and break it in half easily with no problem. But mentally, it's locked. Mentally, it is locked in a cage, in a steel cage, mentally. Physically, though, it could do whatever. If it wanted to, it could break that door and slam it over that man's head, aka society, that's throwing rocks and calling it names and pointing and stuff. And a lot of men, they're starting to stick up for themselves. They're starting to be like, hey, look, nah, I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm not going to tolerate disrespect. I'm not going to tolerate, a young lady talking to me every which way. And before I get some ladies on here getting up in arms, there are some beautiful, kind, and nurturing young ladies out there. This is by no means saying that all women act like this. I'm talking about the ones that I'm talking about. The ones I'm talking about is the ones I'm talking about. If the shoe don't fit, then don't catch a fit. If the shoe don't fit, then don't catch a fit. But the thing about it is, there is a large population of young ladies that feel like this, that feel like the man is supposed to do any and everything that they desire, regardless of what they do, regardless of how they talk, regardless of how they dress, regardless of how they act. A lot of young ladies, they feel like a man should just accept everything that they do. A lot of these young ladies feel like even if they're married, that they can go out there, go to clubs and go out every single night, come back home at 4 a.m. every single that type of stuff is not conducive. And I know that some couples might do that type of stuff, right? Some couples might be okay with that. But let's be quite frank. Let's just cut to the chase. Let's cut down to the nitty gritty and keep it real. If there is a man that is in a relationship or that is married, he is going, no doubt about it, 100%, he's going to feel some type of way. His old lady coming in at 4 a.m. after partying with a lot of her loose friends, right? With a lot of her trampy type of friends. And I'm sorry to say it, but it is what it is. Okay. And before, a lot of men would just accept it like, oh yeah, I'm not insecure. She can hang out every single night with, her friends getting drunk and coming back home later. Stuff. Nowadays, a lot of guys are like, hell nah. If you want to have fun, then yeah, you could do that. But if you want to be in a relationship, no. You can, and that's just one example. That's one example. A lot of guys are just saying no because the thing about it, back to the gorilla analogy, see, the thing about this gorilla, aka the modern man, is that mentally he's locked in a cage and he's going to feel guilty. He's going to feel bad if he says anything because he's been told his whole life that, you shouldn't say anything. You shouldn't say anything and just keep your mouth shut. You have no place. Don't you dare offend the delicate flower. And that's how he's thinking. But a lot of men are mentally starting to wake up. And self-respect, it all starts with your mentality. I talk about working out. I talk about getting your physicality on point, which is extremely important, which is a huge part of what I talk about. And this is extremely true. But the thing about it is, your mentality comes first. See, the reason why I bring up the whole gym thing is because it's going to correlate to discipline. It's going to correlate to self-respect. But mentally, you need to you need to mentally know that you are worth something, because the world's going to reflect what you feel about yourself, right? If you feel that you don't deserve respect, or if you feel that asking for respect or demanding respect in a reasonable manner, right? Because asking for to be treated with humility is just basic stuff. It's basic human stuff. It's nothing spectacular, right? But if you feel like that's offensive, then hey, look, the universe is going to bring people and scenarios into your life that is going to reflect that mentality. It's going to bring disrespectful people. It's going to bring disrespectful females. It's going to bring disrespectful situations, so on and so forth. But a lot of men, thank God, and I love to see it, and I for one, I am happy to say that I have helped men realize this, because they DM me. They be like, man, I'm learning a lot from your videos, and I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy. But a lot of men are starting to realize this. They're starting to realize this. They're starting to open their mental. They're starting to get their mentality right, because when you start respecting yourself, when you start putting your foot down, when you start walking away from situations, that is telling you, that's going to mirror out in the universe. Now, all of a sudden, you're cutting people off with ease, not only women, but friends as well. When you respect yourself, you feel violated when someone disrespects you, right? You don't feel right when someone disrespects you, because internally it's gonna bother you. It's not gonna vibe with you. It's not gonna, it's not gonna be conducive to the goals and to what you're trying to do in life. It's gonna rub you the wrong way, as it should. But when, most men mentally, they don't think like that. They're in a thirsty mind state. They're in a weak mind state. All they're trying to do is get broads. All they're trying to do is get B words, get hoes, all that. That's the only thing they think about. And that's a very weak mind state that's going to invite any type of chick, because this type of guy will accept any type of treatment because he's so thirsty. You get what I'm saying? And by him being thirsty, by him not respecting himself, he's going to allow way more things to slip. So mentally, that's going to communicate that he wants more of that he is accepting of that type of BS. And a lot of men, thank God, they're starting to get into the gym. They're starting to get fly. They're starting to get mentally more aware. I'm hearing a lot of men talk about, how fixing your mentality, how starting to think more positive, how switching your mind frame to more positivity. A lot of men are starting to wake up to that. Because I can remember not too long ago, man, a lot of guys, I would see it right in front of my face. A chick would talk super disrespectful, and they'd be like, man, that's sexy. Like, what part of that? See, that's a man that doesn't respect himself. A man that, to me, a man that says that a woman being disrespectful or feisty, they call it, and all feisty is code word for disrespectful. Let's keep it real. A man that finds that attractive really is weak-minded, because think about it like this. What if a guy came and was talking to you slick, talking to you all kind of ways? You would want to fight him, right? You would want to get into an altercation. If a dude came to you talking about you ain't this and you ain't that and you need to do all that, you'll be like, what? You'll be up in arms. So why would it be okay for a woman to talk like that to you as a grown man? But a lot of men are starting to put their foot down. A lot of men are just being like, look, I care about your feelings and I respect your feelings, but when you're acting this way, that all goes out the window. Now I have to put my foot down. I got to be stern, because masculinity, like I said, is gentle. It's, it is caring, it is protective, but at the same time, it is stern. And for you to get your point across, gentlemen, by the way, you don't have to be loud and go ape shit on anybody. Masculinity is strong and it's calm. See, that's what makes it even more intimidating, is that calm factor. When you walk away from a situation and you just block anything that's trying to, all the excuses and all that, you're like, man, I'm not trying to hear that. That was disrespectful. That was disrespectful. And I'm not, that's not part of my agenda. That's not part of what I accept. That's not something that I accept. And in that way, if more and more men started acting like that, they will see attraction skyrocket from women, because women are looking for that. They're looking for that man that's stern. But like I said, unfortunately, as much as a lot of men are waking up, we still have a lot of quote unquote simps. Now, I don't like using mainstream words like cap and simps and all that, but it's true. Simps keep this whole modern female attitude going, because they're willing to do anything. They're willing to pay anything. So as much men as are waking up, there's still men out there that are, weak-minded. But a lot of women, I'm seeing it on TikTok, I'm seeing it on YouTube, I'm seeing it on IG. A lot of them are starting to complain, which really is not complaining, because let me translate what that is. When all of these chicks get on social media and make these little shorts and stuff like, oh, I'm not getting paid attention to anymore, or he's just gonna leave me like that. I know you guys have seen this before. Little memes like, when you disrespectful but he really left you. Those little memes that these chicks be doing. And that's just an example. That's not verbatim what it is, but you get what I'm saying. And now a lot of them are starting to realize, like, dang, these dudes are not messing around. And a lot of times it's guys who, like I said, the ones that are wanted. These are the type of men that women want. The solid men, the men that respect themselves, because naturally when you respect yourself, you're going to have attraction, physical and personality wise. So anyway, I hope this video helped, man. I'm proud of y'all. Keep it up. Peace.